happen if the biggest deception played on you was played by a family member, a mother, a father, a brother, or a sister? What would you do? I don't know what I would do, but we're going to find out on The Act next.
You're tuned in to AfterBuzz TV, the ESPN of TV talk. Now, let the buzz begin.
Guys, welcome back. The Act After Show, AfterBuzz TV. I'm your host, Linda Antwi, and I'm joined by two of my fabulous co-hosts, Raiven and Chef Beanz, which I'm going to have to know more about this Chef Beanz business. Guys, welcome.
Thank you.
Thanks. What are we thinking? Overall thoughts of The Act?
The Act, indeed. Well, it's a treat for me to watch Patricia Arquette because I love her, and I've watched a lot of her shows. The show itself,
Shocking.
Yeah.
That's a good word for it.
Yeah, and I already feel like I'm going to be on pins and needles.
Yeah.
Especially with the ending and everything, but we'll get to that.
And you, Chef?
No, likewise. This show isn't typically the type of show that I would watch, but it gave me so much anxiety to want to know what happens next. So I'm definitely on the edge of my seat.
This is right up my genre. I am a true crimes fanatic.
Yes.
Like
Right.
Law and Order all day, mystery all day. I'm watching every single documentary. So this is right up my alley. I actually know this story, and it's actually, guys, based on a true story. This actually happened in real life, if you can imagine, and it's incredible. Like, it's incredible.
Yeah.
So for you guys that don't know the story, Dee Dee and Gypsy are mother and daughter. And basically, we're following the lives of this mother and daughter who the mom has Munchausen, and I'm saying it wrong.
Munchausen.
Yeah, by
Right.
proxy.
That's pretty good. Yep.
Yeah, so basically she's making her daughter sick for attention, and it's scary. It's really, really scary.
It is. And in the beginning, I was wondering, are any of her illnesses true or not? Or is it all by way of her mom?
Well, we saw in the episode how when it progressed, you could see that Gypsy was starting to think like, hey, you know,
Right,
something's going on. Like, I'm not feeling it.
Everything isn't adding up. You did start to notice her kind of mature because clearly it was a lot of deception going on. But as they moved into this new town and she started to ask those reflective questions, you can kind of start to see the shift in her as the episode progresses.
Yeah, I agree 100%. And I think that, and I don't have kids, but I think that when they don't tell us her age as of yet, but you think she's like 13, 14 at this point when this happens. And as a teenager, you're going to start to have questions. You want to start to hang out with friends of your own age.
She's already Googling the
kissing and the boyfriend, the best friends. And she's seeing peers across the street, and she wants that. But her mom is trying to keep her young, right? So when she was younger, in my opinion, her mom was able to control it all. But now she's starting to think for herself.
No, absolutely. She is stepping into those independent thoughts. But what I noticed was very evident. The mother forcing the Disney and the cartoon shows her. I know we've already said it, but you could kind of see her start to come of age.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're in the wrong neighborhood to try to keep a secret.
Listen.
Once the neighbor, I said,
Listen, you can't be in a new neighborhood in Louisiana. I think they're in. Oh, no, they came from Louisiana. Yeah, they're in Missouri.
Right.
And have that house built by the neighbors, because the neighbors helped build this Habitat for Humanity house.
Right.
So they're going to feel like that's their house. I know that if I had my blood, sweat, and tears, knocking out a house, even though I'm doing it for good, I'm going to keep a good eye on that house. Like, you're not burning the house down. You're not having any wild parties. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's the brightest house on the block. That's first, like, very telling. But also, you know how it is moving into a new community. Everyone's going to be in your business. Like, who is this person we're building a house for? Like, let's keep a close eye on them.
Absolutely, absolutely. What I wanted to do next, guys, and if you're watching us, you'll see it up on screen, and if you're listening to us, this is based off a true story. So I wanted to show a few quick pictures of the actual people. So this is Gypsy Rose Blanchard. So she was the victim of the Munchausen by proxy at the hands of her mom, Dee Dee. And basically, she lived her life in a wheelchair for the longest time. So there was a little bit of stretch in the act from the real story, she actually didn't know that she could walk for a while. So her just walking in this first episode was like, whoa. I knew something was up. Yeah, because her mom kept her that ill that she thought that she couldn't walk. But once they pulled her off of all of the drugs and everything that her mom was putting into her system, then they realized that she could actually walk. And then the next photo that we have up here, this is her in her multiple hospital visits. And you can see here, like you were saying, Chef, her mom was keeping her young. So remember the scene where the police are serving the warrant and they go in and there's just teddy bears everywhere?
Thousands of them.
Yeah, normally you would think, oh, that's super cute, but you got the creeps from it, right? Same thing. Like she probably here, let's guess an age, maybe 12 to 14.
12, yeah.
Right? And still has the stuffed animal here because her mom is forcing her to try to stay young, right? So I thought that was sad. And one of the things that I know about the backstory of this is that part of her mom being able to keep this story going for so long is that they never went to the same hospital. And her mom like switched up her medical history. And so this is why she was able to go for so long without being detected.
I wondered that in the doctor visit.
Yeah.
Like, wouldn't they be suspicious? Or, well, the doctor still was saying some things that would let me know he was suspicious.
Well, he was.
Something. Yeah.
When he was talking about the Pedialyte, right? He's
Right.
like, Pedialyte has a ton of sugar, so how do you figure, like, she's allergic to sugar?
Right.
Right.
And then that's when the mom freaks out and is like, something's wrong, right? But that's how they keep you off your game because they're going to freak out. You're going to always want to believe the mom because the moms are normally nurturing and not like psychopaths. And then moving on to the next picture here. This is the actual Gypsy Rose, and this is her dad. And as we move forward in the season, I know that the dad's going to play a good part of it.
Right.
And we saw with the check that he sent that the mom is hiding.
The $1,500 check.
Right. Right?
Let's be
Yeah,
specific.
let's be
The
specific.
$1,500
Yes,
check.
Chef. Yes. So she's basically trying to make the dad out to be like a bum and not involved and scary and all of this stuff. But meanwhile, he's trying to have a relationship with his daughter. As you can see here, in the early days, he did have a relationship with her.
How adorable is she?
Right. And then the next picture. All right, so this is the actual Dee Dee and Gypsy in real life. And fun fact, true story, they, besides getting a bunch of money from everyone, everywhere, meeting celebrities all the time, they were flown to Disneyland in a helicopter to spend the day because she was, apparently really sick and going to die. And I'm trying to think of the word. When it...
Make a wish.
Make a wish.
Foundation.
Yes.
Thank you. So I don't know. I look at the mom and I think like what does crazy look like? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, Crazy has so many different pictures. Like it's subjective, but it just really like broke my heart in a combination of reasons. Like while watching this, even the innocence that still exists inside of her when she tried the cupcake, then her mom sticking her with the EpiPen. Like there's nothing
Violently.
Right, creating the scene and then not knowing that she was consciously awake to hear the doctor spilling that information. So many things in this episode, which is very eye-opening, and it's sad because it's based on a true story.
True story. Yeah, and so I wanted to pull up the picture of Patricia and Joey because I think they did a fantastic job in this pilot. Joey King, I'm not super familiar with her, but what I will say is that she is killing this role.
No,
Killing
absolutely.
this role.
I was going to ask if anybody was familiar with her or if we know if she's wearing a cap or if she's...
I think she went full-fledged and shaved her head.
Yeah,
Wow, that's
likewise. She has a couple different movies that she's in, but she's really bringing this character to life. Like, I feel like I'm a part of it.
Absolutely. That's how I felt too as well. And, I love Patricia Arquette. So, and then Joey King in the act, I just thought I would pull this up just so you guys can see the familiarity between the real Gypsy and Joey King and how amazing. If you guys haven't heard of this Hulu exclusive, it dropped today. We are doing the after show for it, and she is fantastic. The show is fantastic. It's going to draw you in. Speaking of draw you in, AfterBuzz does a ton of shows here.
Right.
And why don't we tell our listeners and viewers more about it?
Yes, hey guys. So before we move on to the next topic, we just want to say thank you for making us the ESPN of TV talk. We can't continue without you. We appreciate your assistance, but can you just do a few things for us? First, if you're on YouTube right now, hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. If you're on YouTube, please give us 5 stars, but no matter where you are, leave us a comment so that you can get involved with the conversations. AfterBuzz has been a tremendous support system for me, definitely giving me confidence inside and outside of the studio. So if you can, please make sure that you support.
I love that. And if you are on Spotify, we are on Spotify now as well. So, you know, stream us in your car, listen to what we have to say. It's all really, really good stuff.
Absolutely.
Guys, so what did we think of Mel? So Chloe's character, the neighbor across the street.
Oh, I like it a little spicy. Yeah, she's a spicy one. That's why I'm like, oh, this is the wrong neighbor to be next to. No, she got a bit of a break when she created the scene for her daughter, because otherwise I think Mel would have completely just demolished her after seeing her steal. And she feels some sort of way because the shade she threw was, okay, yes, the lady was stealing, but the shade of like pretending you're a good mom, that felt different to me. That felt like unnecessary. It lets you know her self-confidence issue in herself and people like that, period.
In Mel?
Yeah.
Okay.
When she made the comment about you're over here pretending, putting on the good mom act, that lets me know how Mel feels about herself.
Got it.
That's her projecting.
Got it.
So either way,
I
she's
agree.
in trouble. She's in trouble,
What'd you
but she
think?
got a bit of a break.
What do you think?
No, I really like Mel. She has a very strong personality. And like what you said, she's that neighbor that you can't get over on. And she seems to be in the shot at the perfect time. Like in the mall, I thought that was very telling, like the deception that was created from the mother and using her daughter to steal, like everything. Mel just seems to be at the right place at the right time. And even when you see her interaction with her daughter, she's very transparent. So I know Mel is going to play a very important role as far as like that transparency, read between the lines, but also still try to be empathetic. Because like you said, she was projecting, but I know there's a soft spot within Mel too.
Yeah, I think that Mel has a sixth sense that something is not right. I think that she thinks that besides the stealing, I think the stealing triggered what she already thought she knew.
Right.
And I think that she's going to really play an integral role in like putting this whole mystery together.
Yeah, she'll be. She has a line where she says, "Sooner or later, everybody knows everything
I wrote
about
that down.
Right.
everyone."
Yeah,
I did too.
because I was like,
I'm
preach,
like, okay.
Mel.
Right.
Go ahead and preach.
So, she's up to something.
Right.
I wrote that down.
And I also wrote down, you have to teach them to fend for themselves. And then when Dee Dee's like, no, she can never fend for herself. She's always going to need me. I thought that was like foreshadowing as well.
Yep.
Yeah. What do we think of Lacey and having Gypsy try to really form a friendship with Lacey?
I think they're closer in age than maybe Gypsy knows. And I think this is like the preteen coming out of her. She's seeing the interaction with the boyfriend. She's seeing them drink soda, a combination of things. But this is, I think, what also helps create a lot more questions in Gypsy's head. Like, wait, what's going on? Like, this looks fun. Why am I always in the house? A lot of questions are developing in her mind.
Yeah, I agree too. And I also think it's going to be the catalyst for that family learning more.
Yeah.
Because Gypsy's in her keeping her in a childlike state.
Yeah.
Kids are just open.
Yeah.
They just talk. She's gonna forget about hiding anything, or because she can walk, so she's aware that she's hiding something.
Yeah. It's
So,
just, you start
yeah.
to see the wheels turning in her head. Like, I want that. You see her longing across the street because, do you guys remember the scene where she's in the wheelchair, they're having the gumbo party in the yard, and all the young kids are around her, and she zones out, and she's looking across the street. And part of the true story is that Gypsy didn't really know her true age because her mom kept lying about it. And like you said, her mom was keeping her in her young state. But because she was probably like 13 or 14, she was really trying to figure it out. She was in her preteen, teen years trying to figure it out. And you could see that. You could see that in the act where she's looking across the street like, that's me. And why am I here? And like, why is my mom saying I'm allergic to sugar and I can't walk and all of this stuff? She's, like you said, she's going to start to like want to explore, which we see with the whipped cream scene.
Right. Right. And that was a very, even like couple steps before that, when she first stretched out her feet, I thought they shot that perfectly because, like I said, the anxiety started. I'm like, wait, what?
I was like, is she about to get out of the bed? And her mom's sleeping right beside her.
Right, because these gears were going. Even when she got shut down from going to the movies with the other teenagers, I think that was like one of the last straws for her. You know?
Do you think watching the documentaries, because I'm on the fence about it, will kind of ruin the show?
Y'all need to watch the documentaries. It'll just make it better.
It'll make it better?
Makes it better because
better.
One of the things that was interesting to me is they jumped ahead in the pilot. So in the pilot, we see that Dee Dee is dead. Right. So
yeah.
And if you watch the documentaries and all that, obviously we don't know. And the story is long and it's years and years and years. But to jump forward to that drama, and now we're going to have to backtrack and see all the crazy stuff that has led up to it, it's incredible. I think that they shot this pilot really, really well, and it just sucks you in.
So do you know how long from the documentaries, how long she did this to her daughter?
Years, from toddler on. And I think that, I mean, I don't want to wreck it for all of us because we're going to move forward in the season, but it was a long time.
No, absolutely. But even to get back to what you're saying about the whipped cream situation, like that was a very pivotal point, I believe, in the pilot for everybody, the audience and Gypsy. What do you think?
Well, that's why I'm on the fence about watching anything, because I'm watching it like... It did not dawn on me, I think, until she closed the refrigerator that I was like, she's walking. She's walking. Yeah. So if I watch the documentaries and everything, I don't know. I feel like I'll lose the...
Well, one of the great things about, and I encourage you to watch the documentaries.
I'm watching.
Is because we have the creative expansion of the story here. So like that scene obviously didn't happen in any of the documentaries, but to have that background, the foundation, and to know the full story, and then to see Patricia play it out, it's like a perfect mesh. It's a perfect. They're killing this.
No, for real.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
I don't even know. I don't remember the last show that had me like this. Like I felt like I was there. They casted the perfect people for this.
Yeah, they really did. They really, really did. Let's move on and talk about. I wanted to talk about just like the disease itself. We saw Dee Dee when they had their pizza, and she mixed it with what is it, like liquid milk, Enfalac?
Similac.
Something like that. Blended it and then stuck it in the syringe and then through the feeding tube. We saw that, and then we.
Did you see all of the medications?
We saw the medication, but we also saw her special notes on each of the medications, which is really important, you guys, to remember. So what do you think of all of that? Like, because when I think of like family and friends, this has to be, and I don't know anything, you guys, about this disease, but it's obviously a serious disease if you are doing it to someone that you love, and not just someone you love, like as a mom, that's your child.
Right.
I mean, it struck a chord for me. I mean, it probably struck a different chord being that you're a mother, but all the medicine that was there for someone who isn't even really ill, like that, I couldn't get that out of my mind because just half of that would have been obsessive. But she had a whole cabinet full of who knows what. Yeah. So like I said, my anxiety was flickering this whole episode.
Yeah, I can't imagine. It just, I know that it's an illness. On the surface, it just looks like an extreme level of selfishness.
That's how I see it too.
Just her need to be needed, to be, whatever all of that includes is completely self-serving. Yeah. And it takes a level of intelligence and diligence, just the research for her to go through with everything, the medications, the notes, the feeding her through the tube. And
yeah, but the thing is, there's a couple of things with that. I think that you often hear that criminals are just as smart as, the doctor or the lawyer. It's just the road they chose, right?
Right.
And I think that in this specific case, this is how she was making her livelihood, right? So even though she was government funded, she was also getting, you saw even at the barbecue, she had a jar out. Like, she was the professional. Like, this is her job. She's going to make money through her child. And from the little I know about this disease, it's about her. So the attention's going to be on her and how she's a great mom.
Right.
She's a great caregiver. Right. She even says to Mel that, she wouldn't survive without me. It's all about her, and not even really about Gypsy.
Right.
So it's an interesting dynamic, and it's so hard to watch.
It is, and to know that it's true. And there are people who suffer from it. I've heard of this a few times.
Yeah.
So
I wanted to read something. So what they say is that Dee Dee made Gypsy Rose shave her head. So as part of the abuse, Gypsy Rose was forced by Dee Dee to not only use a wheelchair, even though she didn't need one, and she underwent numerous surgeries that were later deemed unnecessarily. She was also forced to shave her head to appear like she went through chemotherapy, and forced to take medications that made her lose her teeth and induce symptoms of medical issues, Dee Dee told doctors, that Gypsy Rose suffered from. And I think that even in the act, I wrote a few that I can remember, but she was saying that she had gland surgery, she was anemic, she had heart surgery, and tremors. And I was like, you're just rolling those off like it's nothing. Like, she had like a small headache.
Right.
That's what's scary.
And can cry on the spot.
Yeah.
Everything was always a performance. But yeah, just shooting out different like symptoms or diseases that her daughter had, but to know they were false.
Yeah.
It was just, I keep saying it's deception.
Yeah.
But convincing at the same time, especially if you're knowing people, or people don't really know you. You have a dictionary full of different medical records every time you want to talk about something.
Yeah.
But to know, like you said, just how doctors can go their route, you also have people who can manipulate certain systems or manipulate people and be believable. Yeah.
I mean, if you're going to go from hospital to hospital, there are gaps somewhere.
Right.
Some people are able to manipulate those gaps.
this is off topic, but this is what I thought if I were male. You stole a necklace, but gumbo is expensive to make. She's throwing a whole party.
Yeah.
As a neighbor, I would be like, wait, how is she doing this? Who funded this?
And then it was mall jewelry. Mall jewelry in the middle stands aren't that expensive. You're getting $1,500 checks and people are donating at the birthday parties. Come on now.
Yeah, something's up.
The neighbors should have been suspicious. They missed that one.
Well, the thing is, though, that Mel didn't show up to the party to the very end. So she didn't get to taste the gumbo or anything like that. She wasn't a part of it because she didn't want to be a part of it. She showed up with her liquor in her cup, and she was like...
She said, I'm not known for keeping my mouth shut. Like, ooh.
Then the second she applies pressure, what happens?
Cracks. And I think that we're going to see more and more cracks. Speaking of cracks and seeing more and more, do you guys have any predictions for what's going to happen in the next episode?
Yes, my prediction.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Throw it back.
I'll go back. Okay. Yes, my prediction is I think Mel is going to continue to apply pressure, and I don't know. I see Dee Dee being a little more sloppy with her moves. Like, she's in this new community, and she's being more and more sloppy. I feel like more questions are going to be asked, and people are going to start sniffing around.
Okay.
I don't know if I can predict anything yet, but what I'm wondering is if the daughter is going to keep it a secret that she ate the knowledge that she has now regarding the sugar, or if she's going to let her mom know. That's what I'm looking forward to seeing, if she's just going to.
I know the storyline, so I'm going to cheat just a little, guys, just a little. I think that we're going to see Gypsy expand her wings a little bit more and push back against her mom a little bit more.
Okay.
I think that in this episode, we saw her Googling best friends and boyfriends, and I think that that's going to play an important role in the upcoming episode.
Yeah, because any teen is wacky when it comes to the boyfriends.
Listen.
So
Right.
yeah.
Listen, and I think then we saw her on that computer, right? So sneaking all of that. She's doing a lot of sneaking. So on that note, I think that, again, she's going to expand her horizons and there's going to be follow-up because of it.
Alrighty.
Guys, we love this show. We love it. You guys
Yes.
watch it. I know that you watched it. If you want to continue the conversation with us, please do reach out. I can be found on social media all across at Linda Is So Girly.
I can be found at Raiven French on all platforms.
And I can be found at chef_Beanz with a Z.
Awesome, guys. Till next week. We'll see you then. Bye for now.
Our founder, Keven Undergaro, and me, Maria Menounos, would like to thank you for tuning in to AfterBuzz TV. Remember, we're not just the first, we're the biggest in the world, and we're the only destination for all your favorite TV shows. Whatever you crave, we've got it. So go to AfterBuzzTV.com and check out our lineup. Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.